Hi guys, it's Portal Wagon, and welcome to my Apex Legends weapon reviews. Yeah, so that's right. I'm going to start reviewing weapons. Now, it's not going to be just like a tier list where I just said, go in depth and say this weapon's clearly better than this. No, it's based on my opinions and experiences. So, some of you get prepared to be triggered. Now, also we'll be talking about the various changes the weapon went through. So, we will be going back to the past and just thinking about how the meta has changed, and also some of the changes the weapons needed to go through, because some of them were borderline OP or some of them were just garbage. But as a season one player, or from the beginning, I've seen it all, to be honest. But hope you guys enjoy it. And also, this won't be like an in-depth review, saying all the damage does 34 to the body and all that, because personally, anybody got time for that. And you've seen videos where they go in depth and just talk about the damage, but for me, damage don't mean nothing if I don't like the weapon. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget, drop a like. Okay, so today we're reviewing the Hemlock. Now, I'm going to probably drop the most controversial statement in the whole of Apex. I miss the old Hemlock. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, what, the single fire, yeah? No, guys. No. I miss the old burst fire. Now, I know everyone's going to be in comments saying, what do you mean the burst fire was rubbish? But I'm going to explain my points, guys. Don't you worry. Okay, so with the old Hemlock, the delay between bursts was much shorter. So, to be honest, it feels like by the time the new Hemlock fires its, second burst, I feel like the old one would have fired two already. It was that quick. And I feel like it was more forgiving. Like, you could fire a burst. Alright, if you didn't hit all your bursts or your shots, you had another one to follow up. It was quick. And I feel like now, I get it, they're trying to make the Hemlock like a strong, burst weapon. But no one used the burst. That's what annoys me. It's like the main feature of the Hemlock is its secondary function, like the single fire. So, I don't know, for me it just loses the personality of the gun. It's like having an R301 and the single fire is the better part of it. Yeah, I know I sound passionate, but this used to be my go-to gun. Well, I'm going to explain, my love-hate relationship with the gun, but at one point, this was my favorite gun, and now I do not like it. So, I mean, I like the single fire part of it, but it's just, I want the main part of the gun to be useful. For me, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you hit one quality burst, grade A burst, and then the next, like, two bullets, someone can just easily charge or slide to the left or the right, and they're missing your burst because it's so slow now, and your follow-up shot is just not really going to hit them. I guess you could argue that also the damage buff and the burst delay makes the gun more skillful to use, but I just feel like there's better options. So first of all, the single fire Hemlock, it's just better. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean, you can just spam it and get consistent damage, or just poke damage. So, you hit them a few times, you peek back to cover, you come out again. It's just consistent. And also, there's other weapons. So, if you're accurate and like your aim is on point, the Wingman is a great option. Or the Scout, which is still great. I feel like people don't really use that much anymore since it got nerfed, but the Scout is still great. Of course, you've got the R99, and also the R301 is a lot more consistent. I mean, it may not be like a powerhouse, but I feel like raw damage, but you can still laser people up to like medium range. So, and also even a flatline. I'm in love with the flatline now. I used to dog that gun in the beginning, but I love the flatline. I don't know why. My aim is just more consistent now. So you have better options. So now I'm going to show you my typical Hemlock experience. So I find with this gun, if someone's running away or strafing, that is the worst time for this gun. Like, for you to use this gun. I categorize certain guns. It's like, if someone's out in the open, they're amazing. So like, the Havoc or the Spitfire, if they're out in the open, then you've got them. And that's what I find with the Hemlock, because it has a lot of vertical recoil. But look, even there, I'm missing burst when the guy's crawling on the ground. Now, I guess that could be my aim, but you got to factor in, all three bullets have to hit the target to do good damage. Now, watch this bit here. I get shot from the side, I do stim, but like it's what I find with the Hemlock. Look. He's moving to the left and the right. You know, we're Char sliding. Now I know Caustic does have fortified, but look, it always takes like 3 or 4 bursts, or even 2. Yeah, 2 to 4 bursts, I'd say. I don't think you even can one burst someone in this game, but here I was like, you know what, let me just get an R99 out. Like, I cannot be asked to just do this. And then, even with this person here, I was like, they're getting closer to me. Let me just use the R99 because smart players, they strafe a lot. And that's what I'm stimming also. Now, obviously with Octane, you're stimming and it makes you quicker, but I would not use the Hemlock there. Now, here's another experience, guys. So, look, with this gun, I feel like it's great for just starting out, but it's never good at finishing. Like, with some weapons, you can just solely use them. So, like, for example, R301 at close range, I would just be sticking, I'll just be using that. Same thing with the R99. I don't mind reloading and just using it again, but with like the Hemlock, I feel like you have to play like you have a hammer point. So you take their shield off and switch to a secondary. And that clip just sums it up, to be honest. Look, so when he's out in the open, no cover, and he's just standing there, the vertical recoil it got him. He jumped down and all my bullets aligned. But as soon as he went to go strafe, the Hemlock's like, nah, I can't do that. This is not my area. Now, some people are probably thinking, just use a different gun at that range. No, the Hemlock can destroy at close to medium. I won't always use it at close, but medium especially. And just there, look, I even struggle to aim at the guy on the ground. So here's another situation. I'm using the Mastiff, then I'm like, you know what? Look, I'm doing all that damage. Now, the railing did mess me up a bit. That's like with every gun, but often, yeah, I always have to switch to my secondary. So I do a bit of damage and then switch to the R99 or R301 just to confirm the kill. And I mean, it's part of the gun, but yeah, it happens. But I got so annoyed, I just decided the first lifeline straight away. Right, now it's time to show you my single fire Hemlock experience. So I know I was talking about my love about the old burst, but the single fire is very good. But as I said before, I miss the old burst. But here just shows you the damage that you can do. Now I don't have loads of clips with it, but because I don't really use the gun loads now, but by all means, pick up the gun and use it. It's very good. So here I don't know why she didn't aim at me, but I feel like she was just going for the caustic in the back. But here is when she had to run, and if my aim was like better, should have been out of it. Now that normally isn't the range you want to use it at. I did have an R99, but I just wanted to use the gun at the time. And look, here is like where it's great. Now, excuse my accuracy, but the iron sights on the Hemlock, they do suck. Okay, you do want an optic of like any kind, to be honest. But right here, like, I could barely see them with the little circle, but that's the range you want to use it. And when you're in cover, there's not much time to really basically there's no way they can really compete because the rate of fire, and by the time they realize I'm taking too much damage, a lot of people over peak, and then when they go back into cover, that's when they get knocked. But it does have a unique sound, and when you hear the rate of fire, you do know it's a Hemlock. But I don't really see it enough for me to like always remember straight away. So yeah, those are my 2 footages of the Hemlock single fire, and by all means, I love the gun. I love the single fire, but I wish the burst was the other way, because I relied on the burst because I love I don't know, burst fire guns are so satisfying. I just love having that raw, like 3 bullets, just, that raw power, 3 bullets just bursting someone. It just feels satisfying. Now, recently I have been playing a lot with the burst. I've been trying a new approach. So before you could kind of spam it more. Now I wait till the gun resets. So currently, like the wingman, when I fire, I let the gun reset and then I shoot again. I have been more consistent with it, but still, once again, it's nostalgia, just looking back at what you had with the Hemlock. But I'm trying to learn it because I don't want to just hate a gun. To be honest, I mix up my weapon loadout all the time. So sometimes I'm using like the other day I was using like charge rifle and Spitfire, and I would end up winning the game. I was doing really well. So yeah, I like to mix up my guns. I don't like just to use, for example, you know, everyone uses just Wingman or R99. I like switching my weapons up. Now, this is a weapon review, so I will give it a rating, and for me, I'll give it a B. So, you know, from A to D tier, I'd say I'll give it a because not A, B, because the single fire is what puts it up higher. The burst is what I would class it maybe like a C. So I have to put it in the middle because it has two strengths, and I guess you can use both at medium range. So single fire is more consistent, I'd say. Long range, medium range, and then close, just switch to another weapon. And then for close range, I wouldn't really use the burst either. So that's when you use your R99 or whatever. And also, guys, I do have a bit of a rant at the end. I'm going to leave it there because it was just funny and I don't really want to cut out the video. So I hope you guys like the video and take care. Yeah, the gun just feels redundant. Now, I understand in a battle royale game, not every weapon has to be top tier. I completely understand that. I understand why the Mozambiques are, just like, it's just there. It's still in the game. People wanted it to be buffed. But I feel like, yeah, you should have guns that are clearly outclassed. But I feel like they failed at what they were trying to do with the Hemlock. So, originally, the burst fire, I think was good. No one used the gun. Okay, then people discovered the single fire, the old single fire, which was much faster than now. Okay, so everyone started using that. So they nerfed the single fire. And then a few seasons later, they buffed the burst fire. Okay. And then also they buffed the single fire again. And guess what everyone did again? Everyone swarmed to the single fire. And even when it was nerfed before, no one picked up the gun. So I feel like they didn't achieve what they wanted to do. They wanted to make, you know, the Hemlock competitive. But I feel like, okay, if no one uses it, I'm pretty sure I don't know, maybe their chart had no one using the gun, but it just hurts me that this gun was my favorite. This gun was my baby, man, and I can't really use it now because of the burst delay. I feel like a scout's better. I remember the old scout. Oh my god, we don't even need. Right now, we don't talk about the old scout, but that was more forgiving. Even now, it feels more forgiving than the Hemlock. So, yeah. So that's my little rant over. We're going to talk about other stuff now. Actually, before we move on, I feel like maybe there should be another attachment that makes the burst fire like the old Hemlock. Maybe it reduces the damage, but it makes it like the old one because, yeah, when people talk about the Hemlock, if I go on Reddit, it's just single file. I don't see the burst. And then you get a few people like, yeah, the burst is great, but I don't know, I was a huge Hemlock lover, so that's why, once again, I'm passionate about this, but you know what? That's my suggestion. I feel like they should add an attachment to it. And for people who say, that's going to mess up the loophole, they took out Anvil for the precision choke, which just goes on the, what's that gun called again? The triple take, yeah. When the Peacekeeper now is a care package weapon, it has it inbuilt. I feel like that ruined the loophole now. So give us a fast firing Hemlock attachment. Thank you, Respawn. Please. There's no hate. You just messed up my baby a bit. Now, another reason I feel like the Hemlock hurts me. Now, I am ranting a little bit because I always do this. I just go off on a tangent and just chat about whatever. But another reason this gun probably annoys me is because I love burst fire weapons in almost any type of game. I'm not even joking. So a lot of the old Call of Duties, like Modern Warfare 2, I used to love the M16 and the FAMAS. And then Black Ops 2, the SWAT and the M4A, whatever the hell it was. I'm going off track, but yeah, I used to love burst fire weapons. I don't mind if they're slow, but accurate. They were my favourite ones. The ones that packed a punch, but the Hemlock doesn't have enough. Even if it was like a little bit more damage, then maybe I would just devote myself to the burst. But as I said before, the single fire is just where it's at. It's more forgiving, you can spam it and the damage is consistent. But yeah. And I feel like most players agree, like in other games, when you have a burst fire weapon that's quicker, people are more likely to use that one instead of the slow one that requires more aim and precision. It does more damage, but most people always go for the quick burst weapon. Like, for example, Black Ops 3, I've been playing that a lot, and there's like the last gun there is like a very quick burst gun. Everyone loves that gun. They don't go for the other one, which is slower or does more damage, because it's more forgiving. And in a game where like you got people who can phase out with their broken hitboxes, or even you got big Gibraltars and Caustic who hides behind his gas trap. You need a weapon that is like that is consistent, or you can hit your shots. So